All right, everybody. Good morning here in Atlanta, from Atlanta, Georgia. We are back live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Ihruoha, and I have the good brother Emeka. Radical honesty, because that's what we need. So today we're going to be discussing Afrocentrism versus Pan-Africanism. Brother Emeka, and he's going to give us some truth. He's going to give us some radical honesty. He has no filter. He believes that Pan-Africanism is a dream, a wet dream at that, and that Afrocentrism is reality. Brother Emeka, can you go into detail about that?
Yes, good day. Thanks for having me again.
It's been a minute.
Excuse me?
I said it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I'm back to your show, and I'm glad you keep on informing people around the world. Well, to speak about the difference, Afrocentrism and Pan-Africanism are two totally different things to me. As someone that grew up in a Central European environment and came from the Niger Delta and a member of my Ihruoha ethnic nation, I have learned the following. Growing up in a different environment, you have two options. Either you assimilate, what a majority of African youths that grew up in Europe did, or you embrace your African roots more wholeheartedly. As for me, I embraced my roots, my Niger Delta roots, my African roots, and the fact that Afrocentrism is my belief made me strong, made my spirit strong, made my mental state stable. It gave me a lot of stability. The difference: Afrocentrism can be practiced on an individual level. As an individual practice, I honor and celebrate my African roots. I honor and celebrate and live my African way of life on my own, and my goal is to have an African life, my African family, my African self. Everybody defines Africanism, being African on his own. I know my ethnic nation, and being a member of my ethnic nation made me an African. So we should understand that the difference between Afrocentrism and Pan-Africanism is that I don't believe that all of us can live together. It's impossible to say all Africans are going to live together in a Pan-African dream, and we are going to all stand in a circle and hold hands and sing Kumbaya all day. One day it's never going to happen. We are all different kinds of people from different kinds of cultures, different kinds of value systems, different kinds of mentalities and beliefs, and it is just ridiculous to believe that we are all Africans going to live together in a Pan-African dream or Pan-African state. It's not going to happen. It has never happened, and it won't happen. But what can happen is that we all respect each other as Africans, and everybody celebrates and practices his Africanness on his own individual and community level, and we all respect our boundaries and different kinds of African cultures, and that's why I'm especially against the Nigerian state and its current borders. The Nigerian state, for example, is an example of false nationhood, false unity, influenced and created by outsiders, non-Africans, and we have seen the results today. And we need to go back to our own individual African cultures and individual Afrocentrism.
Let me ask you this: why do you think I would say the diaspora or Black Americans in general are more passionate about Pan-Africanism than actual Africans on the continent or from the continent?
Because they're delusional, and 99% of African Americans live in a fantasy world. They have never been to Africa. They don't know what Africa is all about, and they are in the inner cities in America, dreaming about Hotep, Egyptian culture. So,
Hey, repeat that again.
yeah, I'm talking about most of the Afro. It's something crazy and ridiculous I've observed on Facebook and other social media platforms, is that especially the Afro Americans that live in inner cities and have never left their inner city environment, will talk and fantasize and blabber about African spirituality and Egyptian pyramids and I mean, you see people giving themselves the name Shedefe Harat Mat or they're crazy. No, seriously, I get. I mean, I don't get it. You know, these are people from West Africa that have absolutely nothing to do with Egypt. These are Yorubas, Igbos, Ashanti people that were taken off to the Americas, and they're trying to claim a culture they have no direct contact with, or never had with, or even their ancestors never had. So I think there's a lot of delusion with the African Americans. I believe that many of them shouldn't even be called African Americans. I believe many of them should be called Black Americans, because many of them have nothing African about them. Even their names can't be recognized by us real Africans. If your name is not Tunde or Emeka or Tamuno or whatever, I mean, it's just I don't understand it. Pan-Africanism is an African a Black American topic, but here, in Africa, it's a dead dream. It's impossible. It's just we don't need more Pan-Africanism. We don't need more unity in Africa. We need more separation and segregation.
Brother, we're losing you. You there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, we lost you towards the end. All right, you mentioned segregation. Why would you say that? Now, as far from a Nigerian perspective, I can somewhat understand why, but I think segregation is too much of a harsh word. Do you mean? I mean, would you say creating your own nation state is different from segregation, or like what would you mean specifically when you say? What do you mean specifically when you say segregation?
Segregation means to me that I don't want Fulani headsmen in my community. I would ban them. I don't want them, even if they have. I don't even want to ask about their mindset, or I don't even want to ask about their reasons for coming. I just want to ban some people because we have made bad experience in the past in our region, and some people should just be on their own, and it just doesn't work. We need separation and segregation, especially in Nigeria, where the Pan-African dream died, and Nigeria is a good example of what Pan-Africanism and Pan-Africanism would look like. And yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, some people, let me read some of the comments in the chat room. I'm sure you probably can read some of the comments in the chat room as well. They're saying that you need to study Bantu migration. So from what I've heard, in this came
you need to study Fulani headsmen. Please forget those people talking about Bantu. We're living in now and here. You need to study Fulani headsmen killing pregnant women, all in the name of having one Nigeria, all in the name of Pan-Africanism, all in the name of being united. We have killed this unity talk. It's not working. Forget about unity. It's not working. Please, I don't need to study anybody. I'm telling you right now what the situation on ground is. And the situation on ground is we need separation and segregation in Nigeria and other places in Africa.
So how would okay? So if you could control the future of Africa, like how would you shape it from your definition of how you define segregation?
Every ethnicity should have a nation. Every single ethnicity. If I could do that, I'll do that. Every tribe, every ethnic nation, you have your independent sovereign nation. We create nations along lingual, cultural, spiritual lines. Better. If we do that, we're gonna have peace.
Okay, now as far as the African Union, as far as once we segregate, us coming together as one to, I guess, conduct business, like, do you see that happening, or is it just segregated and just do your own thing?
We do business. See, one thing we know in this world, we can do business we can do business as neighbors. We must not be countrymen to do business. We must not be in the same union to do business. We do business with Chinese people. We do business with American people. We do business with everybody. We can also do business if we have our different nations, which are more of ethnically homogeneous nations. The African Union is a joke, and it's a hoax. It's impotent. It's unnecessary. It is being sponsored by Chinese interests. Even their capital and their main structures was sponsored by Chinese people. So you don't expect anything from them. We saw how our brothers were treated in America. We saw how black people were killed in America. No single African nation came out to speak on their behalf, and I expected the African Union at least to address the killing of their descendants in America. Nobody's doing this because we are living in a mess in Africa. We have no structure, no original African way of life. We are living in European created nations, and our thought pattern isn't even free. We don't even have that mind to think of our people in America. So you see that we're just messed up. We need to reboot and start afresh, destroy everything existing, and recreate our natural lines.
All right, so people in the chat room are saying that us being segregated or tribalism is part of the reason why Africa is in the situation they're in currently. What's your thought on that?
That's not true. This is what people say, ignorant people say. Let me give you an example. In Nigeria, they have the federal police. They don't have state police systems. They don't have a state police system. In Nigeria, a policeman from the north can come to my village and he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know the language. He doesn't know anything. He can't operate on its full capacity in my village. He can't even understand what the people are talking about. I would say let us have a state police and an ethnic police. So, because if I'm looking for a criminal from my place, I can understand his language, his thought patterns. I know where he can hide. I know everything about him. So let's not mix stuff together. We must be realistic. We are different people with different mentalities and different backgrounds. We need different space. We need different spaces for us to function and to be at our maximum level. So we don't even have an African. I mean, we speak English. For God's sake, we speak English. I can speak my Ihruoha language with my Ihruoha people, but I can only speak English, which is the lingua franca, due to the colonial influence and the colonial time of occupation. I can only speak English or French with someone else in Africa. So we need total reboot. Tribalism is just a negative word, but to be honest, we need ethno-homogeneous nations and states. And when we have these, we will be living in peace again. Except that, we're going to remain in this mess we have found ourselves in.
All right, let's see what else we got in the chat room. Jeff Black, I appreciate the super chat. All right, the brother Yah says, you need to study. I'll take the scholarship of our greats over this disrespectful Nigerian. How do you feel about that comment? And he also said his name is Yah great brother Victor, who's been supporting me since the beginning. It says his name is a combination of East and West Africa, and I'm proud of it. Stop making fun of the diasporans trying to connect to their people and their ancestors. So let me ask you this, Emeka. The Black Americans who are serious, who go to Africa, who are passionate about reconnecting with Africa, how do you,
like you,
correct? But what are your thoughts in regards to them?
brother? You know, I love people like you. You're honest. You're not delusional. You have been to Africa maybe more often than many Africans abroad. The issue is this. I am not mocking anybody, but I'm just saying how it is. Albert Einstein said something. Insanity is when you try the same thing over and over and expect different results. We have tried this unity bullshit. It's not working. It's never going to work. We're different people, different mindsets, different value systems. Um, you have a good intention, yeah, but it doesn't mean that because you have a good intention, you're going to do something good. You know, Africa is what it is. Our Black American brothers and African American brothers in the USA that promote Pan-Africanism can continue to do so, but if they're serious, they can gladly come to Nigeria, and they should go to the Sambisa forest where Boko Haram and the Fulani headsmen have their headquarters, and they can go and try to convince them about Africanism. I will give them less than 10 minutes for their heads to be off their shoulders.
So can you tell us what's the issue with the I mean, I have an understanding as far as Boko Haram. What's the issue, or what's driving Fulani herdsmen to do what they're doing?
Fulanis are a minority. They're non-Nigerians. They don't belong to the Nigerian
they're nomads. They're like everywhere.
They're nomads, but they're immigrants. They're not Nigerians. They're not indigenous Nigerian people. They left from Magellan in Guinea-Conakry, or is it Guinea-Bissau, here in West Africa, and they came to Nigeria, where in the 18th, 19th century, they conquered the Hausa city-states and conquered a lot of Yoruba territories. And they're just immigrants, and they have a deal with the British Empire. And after the handover to Nigeria, the British Empire handed over the power to them. Until today, they have been in cahoots with the British Empire and are working perfectly fine with them. And they are trying to protect their interests. And they use these Fulani herdsmen as political soldiers to put terror in the minds of the Nigerian citizens, just the way Adolf Hitler used SS in the German Reich. So do some politicians use the Fulani herdsmen to create terror and fear.
I want to give a shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, who's in the chat room. I'm here, Pan-African tricking. So, Emeka, you really believe? Okay, how do you feel about people like Marcus Garvey? What are your thoughts on Marcus Garvey, who's pretty much the father of Pan-Africanism? What are your thoughts on him?
Lord Marcus Garvey was a great African I do so much admire. I look up to him. He stands and he created a new world, a new mindset. He created strength, mental stability, and self-honor in the mind of the broken African man. He brought the man up again. He turned the African boy to an African man. When slavery and colonialism was still thriving all over the world, he's a great hero. But he's a human, as we are. Definitely, he contributed to the independence, the official independence of African states. But to be honest, we can have, like, see, in the EU you have different nations. You have Romania, you have Bulgaria, you have Germany, you have the Netherlands. They still have the languages, they have the everything. You know, they based everything on economics. They didn't base on living together as a people. They're not living together. Everybody has space. You know, their focus is economics. If Africans should focus on living together, let it be on a productive level, on economics, finance, stuff like that. That's if you want to join or not, but let let us really forget about this Pan-Africanism. People like Marcus Garvey talked about. I believe his Pan-Africanism was more of a spiritual Pan-Africanism than a real physical Pan-Africanism on ground. To me, that's what it is. I see him as that, but nobody can tell me to join any Pan-Africanism anymore because idealism has been erased by realism in my mind.
Let me ask you. You just mentioned something. You said that Marcus Garvey's Pan-Africanism wasn't spiritual. What do you mean by that?
No, it was spiritual to me.
Okay, spiritual. It was spiritual. Okay. Let's see here. So, Sultan of Sokoto says no ethnicity can survive alone. This brother is also delusional about ethnic nations. He is accusing African Americans to be delusional, but he is too. Mali Empire defies what he said. What are your thoughts on that?
I get sick and tired of our people all over there. Oh God! I mean, come on. He's talking about Mali Empire. What the fuck do I have to do with Mali Empire? I'm talking about now. People are dying now because we're living together in a system that is absolutely not working. Nigeria is not working today because different people with a different mindset are living together. Different value systems are living together. We are so divided. Different religions, different cultures, different languages, different value systems, different roots and historic backgrounds. Why talking about Mali? Talk about Nigeria now, please. I'm not answering that, please. These people are crazy.
Okay. And then the brother from Kenya, where is he? Brian Cole says, do white people operate the way that you're referring to operating? They stay on code. What is your response to that?
They stay on code. Okay, he's like blaming me for talking like this.
Well, he's saying what you're suggesting, white people don't operate in this type of fashion. And obviously they were able to come together and colonialize Africa, colonialize the whole entire planet. So what are your thoughts on that statement?
Well, white people colonialized Africa out of financial and economic reasons. They based their own cooperation on what I spoke about just a minute ago, economics and finance. That was the reason. They came together and said, let's make more money and exploit Africa.
Right.
It's all about money.
Right.
We can focus on economics. They didn't say we are going to live all together in Europe. We're going to have no borders. We're going to have one language, one culture. We're going to all stand together and sing Kumbaya. No. They said, let's focus on money. I'm saying let's focus on economics and financial empowerment. As different people on agreement.
Okay. Brian, did that answer your question, Brian? Oh, let's see here. Osman, you're a Fulani, aren't you, Osman? Everybody's saying that you don't represent all Africans. You have a very myopic viewpoint. What are your thoughts on that statement?
I never want to represent all Africans. You see, what did I just say? I am not a Pan-Africanist, right? You see, I thank you for saying that. I do not want to represent all Africans, never, because I am me. I know my ethnic nation, my region, my culture, my value system. I need this, my homogeneous environment, to work on maximum. Every other thing is just deconstructive. Please keep your Pan-Africanism to yourself. I'm talking about homogeneous ethnic nations. I do not want to represent all Africans. I do not want to represent Fulani headsmen.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's bringing up the corruption in Nigeria. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. Different people, different cultures, different languages, different backgrounds. Nobody cares. Everybody is about let me and my people come off best. So there is nothing uniting us, Nigeria. Nothing. Nothing. There's no difference. I don't see a difference between a North Nigerian and a Ghanaian. I believe that I believe are more same people in Ghana than people in North Nigeria. You see? So everybody, I mean, look at the Nigerian president. Buhari once voted for a man, I think, to become an African, I think on the African Union or something like that. He didn't vote for a Nigerian. He voted for a Fulani man in Niger, yeah, in Niger Republic, because he's his tribesman. So he didn't vote for his nation. He voted for his tribe. And you see, we have a lot of tribes that are not exclusively bound to Nigeria because they have tribesmen outside Nigeria. So their loyalty is not in the Nigerian state. Nigeria can't work. Everybody is about his own ethnic nation, and that's it. So corruption, of course, everybody's going to support his people first. Everybody's going to try to help his people first. And that's why I said, if we have ethnic homogeneous nations, we can thrive better because everybody knows that this is my nation. I can't say Nigeria is my nation. Nobody can say Nigeria is my nation. No Nigerian is gonna die for the Nigerian flag. No Nigerian is gonna do that. I won't ever see any Nigerian that's gonna die because you dishonored the Nigerian flag. You know what happened in Turkey when some English fans, okay, England, I think it was Arsenal, played in Turkey versus Galatasaray, Istanbul, and one of the drunk English hooligans pissed on the Turkish flag, and he was stabbed by two Turkish hooligans. He was killed. Believe me, no Nigerian will do that because nobody wants trouble for that flag. That is not our flag. It does not represent me, my family, my ethnic nation. It represents the colonial setting. The name was created in Nigeria. Everything was created in Nigeria. The state, the name, everything was created, in London. The name was created in London. The state was created in London in 1914 by Frederick Lundgaard and Flora Shaw. And it has nothing to do with Africa. Nigeria has nothing to do with Africa. It's just a foreign concept. And corruption is there because it's not our nation. It's not our nation. Nigeria is not our nation. Nigeria is an European nation.
You just mentioned a point. So you're saying, let me ask you this question. So you mentioned that in Turkey there was I guess a white guy, European, who pissed on a Turkish flag and got his ass whooped, correct, or killed?
Yes.
Now, do you think if a guy, say Ghana played Niger in a football game in Niger, if a Ghanaian was to do the same thing to a Nigerian flag, do you think that they will whoop or that Ghanaian's ass in the stadium?
They might whoop his ass not because of they truly love the flag, but just because they felt he came there and just disrespected them as men. But to kill and go to prison because of that flag, no.
Now let me ask you this: if a white guy was to piss on a Nigerian flag in front of Nigerians, what do you think is what will happen to him?
Nothing. He would go free.
Yeah, of course. That's the point I'm making. Yeah, of course. So do you think it has to do anything with the flag or just that Africans are scared of Europeans or white people?
Both. The flag has no value to Nigerians, and Africans have an inferiority complex on spheres, you know. But seriously, why should I put my life in danger for an European setting? Nigeria's an European setting. My family needs me. My people need me. Why would I put my life in danger? It will be different if I have my ethnic nation, my homogeneous nation, where I know that, wow, I live from my place.
But I mean, Emeka, I know you have some dignity in yourself, meaning that if somebody was to destroy or piss on a Nigerian flag in front of you, I'm pretty sure you would react in a, you would retaliate. I would think you would. I know you would.
No.
All right. Chima in the chat room says, if Europeans can trade with each other despite hating each other for centuries, and China and Japan can trade with each other despite hating each other now, why can't African tribes trade with each other? What are your thoughts on that comment or your response?
We believe anything the white man set up is sacrosanct and divine product for us to follow. We are not able to use our own intelligence to think for ourselves what is good for Africans by Africans. We need African solutions for Africans. We're still thinking in a colonial mindset. Nigeria, it's a set. How can Pan-Africanists call themselves Pan-Africanists, especially those Americans that still support the unity of Nigeria, stuff like that, and want more unity and stuff like that? We don't need more unity, you know. And to your question, yeah, that's that. You know, I don't really know what to add to this.
All right, so let me ask you this, Emeka. What's your? A lot of people want to know what your background is. Where are you originally from? You're in Austria, correct?
This is my ethnic nation, Ihruoha.
Okay.
So the Nigerians should know. My ethnic nation is Ihruoha, also popularly known as Ihruoha people. We are from the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is the richest region on this planet. We are being currently occupied by the Fulani Nigerian occupation forces. We want freedom. We want economic freedom, cultural freedom, and sovereignty from all colonial setups, be it Nigeria and other setups. And yes, I live in Central Europe. I grew up here in Austria. Also, it's a German-speaking society. Racism, this is a sea, an ocean of racism with, and racism has made me love my culture more because, as I said, you have two options when you grow up in a racist society. You can either embrace African culture or try to assimilate. I've seen many of my mates and school friends that tried to assimilate, but you are what you are. So trying to deny your roots or your orientation and yourself is self-destructive. And I am proud of being an Afrocentrist, but never a Pan-African. And I'm proud of my ethnic nation because being part of my ethnic nation is what made me African, and being African is what made me human.
So, Brother Yah in the chat room wants to know, so why did you leave Nigeria and escape to Austria? Like, why aren't you in Nigeria fighting the fight?
I never left Nigeria. I grew up in Europe. I came to Europe when I was a little toddler. I wasn't up to 2 years old when I came with my parents because my parents studied here in Europe. All my life I've been in Europe. I have been visiting Africa due to the fact that I have great passion for Africa. But I understand what he's trying to say. He's trying to understand why I'm here and I'm not fighting there. But what exactly does he mean by fight? Does he want me to carry on?
Well, he's saying you're Afrocentrist. You're very proud of your ethnic origins, but you were born, you live in Europe. He said, why aren't you currently in Nigeria amongst your people? You know,
Nigeria is not a nation.
Well, in your ethnic nation.
Yeah, but my ethnic nation is being occupied by Fulani criminals.
Oh, okay.
Nigeria, like my ethnic nation, is being we're not free. My people are not free. My people are not free. My people are not free. So definitely, any day I get my independence, I'm definitely going to. If I get my independence now, if my people get independence now, I'm going today. But right now, we are under occupation. by a foreign power, which are the Nigerian Fulani hegemonists.
All right, so Sultan is let me give a couple shout outs real quick. Shima, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate your support. Chris, thank you. Jamal, thank you. Jalil Henry, thank you so much. Jalil and Jamal, if you guys haven't received a postcard yet, please email me your address so I can send you guys out a postcard. Chris, if I haven't sent you a postcard as well, make sure you send me your address. I appreciate it. All right, so Sultan is saying there you're suffering from identity crisis like American brothers. He wants to know what you do for a living.
How am I suffering from identity crisis? May I understand? I know my identity. I'm proud of my identity is on my shirt. I mean, what? I know who I am. I'm not a Nigerian. Nigeria is an European mindset. The name was created in London. The state was created in London. What do you want me to promote London European culture and mindset?
Let's see what else we got in the chat room. Everybody, thank you for coming on. And also, Emeka, thank you for joining us this morning and giving us some radical honesty. So Brian made a good point in the chat room. He said there was a time where pretty much all tribes were able to trade. And here he goes. He says he talks like tribes he talks like tribes long ago never interacted with each other without having problems. What are your thoughts on that?
We had these tribes were independent and sovereign. Again, it must not be in a Nigerian setting or in a colonial setting. We had the Benin Kingdom.
Right.
We had Yoruba, Ife nations. They were trading. They were not in a colonial setting. We need to go back to what we were before these people said you are a Nigerian.
Do you think that's possible? So you're basically saying redraw the territorial lines that, of course, Europeans created.
Break everything up. If possible, every ethnic nation should have an ethnically homogeneous nation. That's the only way you're going to have peace. And it's possible if we can at least take our destiny into our hands and stop thinking in this 1914 colonial settings.
Someone wants to know, Kenny, if you could please define Afrocentrism.
Afrocentrism, I am an African on myself, like as an individual. I am Ihruoha. I love my culture, my food, my language, my history, my roots, my spirituality. I love that all myself because it's from me. So I celebrate it with my family. Married with an African. I married from my culture, which is my choice, so that I can celebrate more from my culture. Meaning, Afrocentrism, I don't need other Africans to celebrate my African culture. Pan-Africanists believe that we all need to work together or all live together to live the African dream. I can tell my own African individual in my personal and live my African way of life. Just like religion, which should own Afrocentrism be a personal affair. You don't. I'm against people going around forcing people to join their religion. Please don't force me to live with all Africans or to join Pan-Africanism. Everybody should define Africanism and Afrocentrism for himself. I know my culture. I love my culture. I want my culture. You love your culture, but please, we must not have this one African culture. It's not possible.
Hmm. Let's see what else we got in the chat room for you. So Josiah, who I guess is Nigerian, says Nigeria is only a name. We can rebrand it as we like. Splitting us is very stupid. This is what the European Union did at first. What are your thoughts on that?
What? Did what? European Union did what?
Did at first. Basically, he's saying that the European Union is the one who split you guys at first.
Split us from what?
Let me how do you feel? Okay, people are asking, how do you feel about Biafra?
Biafra is a Biafran. I mean, Niger.
Say that one more time.
Biafra is a Biafran dream. I'm in Niger. It's their right if they want their Biafran nation to have it. I want Niger to. I believe Nigeria was split up in 6 nations. So everybody should have his own place. Look, I'm cool with Biafrans as long as they don't force me into joining Biafra. Biafra is good for Biafrans. I believe Niger Delta is good for Niger Delta.
Okay. So you do not believe that Pan-Africanism can be a reality in regards to Africans as a whole at all?
Pan-Africanism means we all Africans on this planet are going to agree on one thing and do one thing forever. We're going to come together, hold hands, sing kumbaya, stuff like that.
Mm.
We have to understand we're diverse people. I don't talk racist rhetoric of Africa is a country. Africa is a continent, thousands of nations. Forget those 54 African, European created nations. I'm talking about Africa is a continent with thousands. Even Nigeria is like a continent. Nigeria is like a continent. Nigeria is more diverse than Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Please. To believe that Pan-Africanism is going to work is like, I mean, I'm a religious person. People call me crazy for being religious. I call them that one day everybody is going to become a Pan-Africanist, speak one language, have one culture, have one spiritual belief, have one value system, have one. Oh, come on.
No, I think when we say Pan-Africanism, it's putting it's not necessarily speaking one language or having one religion, one single religion. It's more just putting Africa first and African people first. That's what we mean by Pan-Africanism. Now, if you look at it from that definition,
my Afrocentrism is the same. I put my African culture first. My African culture first.
Mm-hmm. Now, not just the culture, but just everything, whether it's business.
Why should I put the culture of other people first, or why should I even focus on that? Let me have my culture. Let them have their culture. Let me have my space. Let them have their space. Let us trade.
No.
Trade. I mean, I have friends. Many friends. They don't all sleep in my house. Everybody goes home at the end of the day. I see an African on the street, I don't take him home. Pan-Africanism, like, take them home to your place. You don't know if he's crazy, you don't know anything. I do not want to live with every African. Africans should live on their own. We should trade. We should behave like, intelligent people. Doesn't mean we have to sleep in a certain bed to be Pan-Africanists. Mm. That's where Afrocentrism comes in. Afrocentrism is a more individual issue. It's more about being homogeneous, more about my culture.
Hmm. So okay, now with Pan-Africanism, you can still celebrate and respect each individual's culture, but again, it's putting Africa as a whole at first. What are your thoughts on that? serving the best interests of Africans as a whole, or the African collective. What are your thoughts on that?
It's always in my interest to stay influenced by African forces. As an Afrocentrist, I don't want my African neighbor to be occupied by external forces because I am his neighbor. I might be the next in line. So I will always be in favor of African independence, and I'll always be against porosity. But again, I'm going to say we can have a union as different ethnic homogeneous nations. A loose union all about economics, trade deals, stuff like that. That if you want, everything should be based on your own freedom and free will to join the union or whatever. But to say that we must have one politics, one this and that, it's not going to work. Let us really. We need to separate Africa. These 54 states are never enough. We need 200 nations that live in Africa. We need them.
All right, perfect. Is there what we'll do? We'll go ahead and close out. Is there anything else you want to share in closing with us? And radical honesty. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us. Okay, somebody calls you an isolationist. How do you feel about that term?
Like that. Thank you very much. Radical honesty. No sugarcoating.
Okay.
I repeat, we need separation. Multi-ethnic nations are the problem of Africa. This is the problem. We have too much unity and we need more separation. We need more separation. We need that.
Okay. All right. At Nam said, he said you're a fake Nigerian. He hasn't been back since he left as a toddler. He doesn't speak for us. Most of these clowns that grow up outside Nigeria are sometimes more tribalist than real Nigerians. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a Nigerian. My point, I don't want to be a Nigerian. Thank you. He's getting my point, actually, right? I wanted to say something else, but he's actually getting my point. I do not want to be Nigerian. What is Nigeria? Is it crazy? How many times am I going to say this? Nigeria was created in London by white people. The name, the state, everything was created by non-Africans. What is African about Nigeria? The name is not African. The state is not African. The boundaries are not African. The history of the nation is not even in Africa. I mean, how many times am I going to repeat myself? I am not a Nigerian. I do not want to be Nigerian. Thank you. I'd rather be an isolationist. I'd rather be someone ethnocentrist. Better. It's going to bring more peace. Believe me. Albert Einstein said that insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. Please, we need to do things differently. We do not need more unity, we need more separation. I visited Nigeria last December. I saw everything. I was in Nigeria for more than 2 weeks. I go to Nigeria every year. Please, you can think whatever you know. I go home every time. And believe me, my people are suffering under this Nigerian setup. I don't want my people to suffer. I need separation. I don't need the opinion of any delusional Pan-Africanist hotep motherfucker. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Now, last question. So somebody's bringing up the fact that you're a Christian. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Do you feel that Europeans created Christianity as well?
See, I personally always say religion should be something personal. As I said, that's the same thing like people trying to interfere or invade my privacy. But I'm gonna say this once. I don't believe that Christianity is an European religion because it was brought to Europeans. I don't believe that Israel is an European state. I don't believe that Egypt is an European state. All popular world religions came from that area. Those areas are African areas. Um, I don't think that me being Christian makes me less Afrocentrist. It's my business. Just the same way, it's my business that I want to be with my ethnic people in my ethnically homogeneous nation. Islam in Africa, good for Muslims, no problem. I'm a Christian, good for me. I'm an Afrocentrist, good for me. You have your African culture, good for you. It's different from my African culture. We have to understand this.
All right, so they're saying you reject Nigeria but not Christianity. They don't understand how that makes sense.
Well, they might have their biased views on religion. Of course, many Afrocentrists, Pan-Africanists, especially, many Pan-Africanists believe that they have to talk about Christianity and always fail to talk about Islam. I see, Arabs who brought Islam to black Muslims are selling black slaves in Libya. I didn't see black Muslims coming out to shout the way they shout about Christianity. Arab slave trade predated the Western slavery. Arabs hate black people more than white people do. Arabs are one of the most racist. They are the most racist people. I don't see black Muslims talking about Islam. So when I talk with a black Pan-Africanist and he's a Muslim, I focus on the African content. I don't care about his religion. It's his private thing. My religion is a private thing. Get it?
Right. Okay. All right. Because people are saying they can't take you serious because you're a Christian.
And I can't. Okay. Same thing I said.
Because they said Christianity is not the indigenous religion to the people in the Nigeria, the area now that's considered Nigeria.
Is Islam indigenous to Nigeria?
Of course not.
So why are we talking about religion?
No, but I mean we're speaking about all, I guess, non-indigenous African religions, Christianity and Islam. Do you think that
Africa is being more mentioned in the Bible than Europe or any other place? African areas have been more mentioned than any place. In Europe, nobody talks about Europe. There is no Europe in the Bible. Or is there? Is there any Europe?
Say that one more time.
Is there any European place mentioned in the Bible? All the places I see in the Bible are mentioned in African areas.
No, I mean, no, you're correct. So do you believe what is considered the Middle East was Africa at one time?
We have evidence for that. Don't you think that Egypt was? Don't you think that Egypt was a black nation?
Absolutely.
So who is living there today? Black people, no.
Last question. Sultana Sokoto wants to know: do you speak your ethnic language?
Owe. Monoku ono hai. Manti.
Okay. So that's a yes. Okay. All right, brother. We'll go ahead and close out. Any final words that you have for the people? Go ahead, and if you want to, you can give everyone your contact information as well, and where to reach out to you and follow you.
Yes, I will tell crazy OTEP, Pan-Africanism, whatever they call themselves, that talk about vibrations and stars and Egyptian bullshit, come to Nigeria, come to the Sambisa forest and convince them about Pan-Africanism. Yeah.
Are you going to take me to the when I come to Nigeria in August? Can we go visit the head Fulani herdsman, and I can sit down and have a conversation with him?
No thanks. I still have a lot to do in my life. I meet crazy people. Well, I'll gladly take you to Benin. Edo.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go to Benin City. I cannot wait.
I have good friends in Edo, and that's also our ancestral home.
Okay.
So definitely, I can take you there.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. I'll be there in August. August 6th or 7th through the 19th. I will be in Nigeria for the first time.
Wow. Brother, that's good. That's Niger Delta, bro. That's Niger Delta.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, Niger Delta. I'm going to Niger Delta. Is Ife in Niger Delta as well? Is that considered Niger Delta?
No. That's Yoruba.
Okay.
That's West.
So I'll be in well, yeah, everyone. I'll be going to the Osun Festival in Nigeria in August, you guys. So I'm gonna go to El Ife. I want to go to Benin City. Shima, why are you saying that? People are telling me not to go there. Why? Why shouldn't I go to the Osun Festival? Why not? Because not to the Fulani. Yo, okay, you guys meant not to the Fulani. Okay. Well, guys, the Fulani in Mali, the Fulani in Senegal are cool. You just saying the Fulani in Nigeria are crazy?
I have met Fulani from West Africa. Wonderful people. I love them. Nice, cool like ice water. Probably the Fulanis in Nigeria are not like that. So it's not a good idea to go to the Sambisa post. But I encourage the Pan-Africanist hotel Azat Mesat Matat people in the inner cities that talk about vibrations and we're Egypt, we're royalty. Come to the Sambisa forest, no problem.
All right, hopefully a lot of they will take you up on the offer. Hopefully they will.
I would direct them.
And talk some sense into the Fulani herdsmen.
Yeah, they will definitely ask him to convert to Islam in the next 5 minutes or be beheaded.
All right, cool. Well, brother, we appreciate you coming on. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining us this morning. Again, search for Ihruoha on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Please like, share, subscribe. If this is your first time coming onto the YouTube live stream, please subscribe to the page. Also, go to searchforihruoha.com, go to dynasamir.com, and go to amazon.com. Search your name, Dynasamir. Please buy a book. And Emeka, thank you so much for coming on. We will have you back on again. Radical honesty. Till next time. Peace.
Peace.